Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Welcome to another video. Liverpool Football Club, the gift that keeps on giving, I guess you'd say, this season. The stuttering season continued. Liverpool yesterday were embarrassed. They were humiliated. They were humbled. They were dealt a reality check. They were knocked back down to earth yesterday thanks to, at the hands of Bournemouth. Bournemouth beat Liverpool by a single goal to nil, and what was a disappointing and pathetic display, in my opinion, from the Reds. And our stuttering season continues. I wanted to make a video on this yesterday, right after the game, but due to time constraints and everything, I wasn't able to do so. So here it is. Here is the kind of reaction to yesterday's pathetic defeat to bottom of the table at the time, Bournemouth. We're going to be talking all about the game yesterday, about Liverpool yet again. But before we go any further, I would like to remind you all to please like the video and also subscribe if you're new. Both things are always and very greatly appreciated. But for now, let's get into the video. Let's talk about yesterday's game. Philip Billing got the only goal of the game as Bournemouth came out as 1-0 winners of that game. A result that I sort of had in the back of my mind could happen. I didn't obviously want it to happen. I obviously backed my team through thick and thin for the most part, and to be realistic as possible. Didn't really expect us to lose though. I always had it in the back of my mind. I said it would be typical of Liverpool this season to go on and drop points to Bournemouth. And then we did. Obviously, Liverpool were riding high off of 5 games unbeaten, 5 clean sheets in a row, 4 wins out of 5, beating our fierce rivals last weekend by 7 goals to nil. It wasn't just a smash and grab win. It wasn't just a fortunate victory at that. It was an absolute comprehensive and absolute putting them to the sword type of victory that Liverpool put on Manchester United last week. And we were riding into this game high on confidence, big on form, and with top 4 well and truly in our sights, in our crosshairs. And yet it took another hit yesterday with a defeat to, like I say, bottom of the table Bournemouth, who have the worst defensive record in the Premier League. And we didn't really look like scoring. We had a couple of moments, obviously. We had Virgil van Dijk going close twice. On another day, maybe he gets those headers resting in the back of the net. Obviously, Mohamed Salah very rarely misses penalties. But we never really looked like scoring. And full credit to Bournemouth, by the way. Let's not get it twisted. Full credit to Bournemouth. They played very well yesterday. They executed their game plan to perfection. Like I say, they took the game in stages. They challenged for every second ball. Really put Liverpool under pressure in that midfield, especially with the physical and the physical battle there. Really put Liverpool under pressure, and they looked dangerous going forward. If it wasn't for some poor decision making, maybe I guess you'd say, or maybe a little bit of luck here and there, they might have actually got more than just the 1 goal against the Reds. Like it was really a poor defensive display from Liverpool overall, and an attacking display that was a bit toothless. Didn't really penetrate that Bournemouth back line. Just a poor display from the Reds, but full credit, like I say, to Bournemouth. Yes, they rode their luck at times a little bit. Like I say, clearing one off the line from Virgil van Dijk within the opening minutes of the game. Obviously, Mohamed Salah missing a penalty, which, like I say, is very rare indeed, but it did happen yesterday, and it happened very embarrassingly for the Egyptian winger. It was just a display yesterday that left a lot of Liverpool fans, and myself obviously, including me, very, very incredibly frustrated, incredibly annoyed, because there was a real chance to put some pressure on Tottenham, by the way. And that's what made, obviously, the defeat even worse, the fact that We looked at the other results yesterday, and Everton picked up points, and Tottenham went on to win, and obviously Newcastle's got an opportunity today to beat Wolves and obviously go above Liverpool in the table, and Fulham are against Arsenal. Man City picked up points. United could pick up points later today when they take on Southampton, and are very likely to do so. I don't see that that result being a shock at all in Southampton's favour, with all due respect. But again, it was another big opportunity missed by Liverpool, and we've had these opportunities at various points during the season. We've had times where we've had chance to really put pressure on the teams above us. We've had chance to really put our critics and haters to against themselves, and really shut them up, so to speak. And we failed. We failed. We had a chance yesterday to build on last week's performance, and it all now feels not as meaningful as what it did last week. Whenever you get a good result against a big team or a fierce rival or whatever it is, it's all about what you do in the next week that really follows it up and says whether it was worth it or not. And you go to Manchester United, a team that under Erik ten Hag has been fantastic all season. They properly seemingly resurrected themselves a fair bit this campaign. And then obviously you smash 7 against them, but then you can't go and beat bottom of the table. It sums up the Premier League as a whole, but it sums up Liverpool's season as a whole more, that they were just poor yesterday. They were just very poor. And like I say, apart from a penalty or getting one cleared off the line, they didn't really look like scoring. Bournemouth held firm, and I'll say it again, for the worst Premier League defence, they looked pretty solid yesterday. I think it was a bit of overconfidence from Liverpool. I think they suffered a bit of what Manchester United suffered from last week. I think they rode into that game yesterday with confidence and an overconfidence at that they would turn up to Bournemouth and smash them 4 or 5-0. I was a little sceptic in my pre-match predictions. I basically said that whilst I think Liverpool will win, and I said actually 3-0 prediction, so obviously that kind of embarrassed me a little bit. But I did mention the fact that this has all the makings of a banana skin type of fixture. When you look at everything that was going into that game, the form-wise of Liverpool, the fact that Bournemouth is struggling at the bottom of the table in desperate need of points, 12:30 kickoff on a Saturday, a white kit that we've never actually won in, our white away kit. It had all the makings of a recipe for disaster, and those are not excuses in any way, shape or form. Those are just facts that we don't tend to do well in the 12:30 kickoff on a Saturday, and again, that proved to be, even when we were at our best and at the peak of our powers, 12:30 kickoffs for us were a bit of a struggle at times, no matter who we were facing. And obviously when we were facing bottom of the table yesterday, again, had all the makings for a recipe for disaster, and that's exactly how it turned out, because Liverpool were beaten, they were humbled, they were embarrassed. And like I say, I sort of a little bit expected this, and I sort of anticipated this a little bit. I didn't think it would actually happen. I thought Liverpool would go on to maintain their decent form by any way, shape or form, and go on and beat Bournemouth yesterday, but that's not how it panned out. And when I was saying to people this week that I talked to, and I was saying, obviously, my pre-match predictions, that just be wary that this isn't a complete foregone conclusion, whilst you would expect Liverpool to win and to absolutely run riot against Bournemouth. This is the potential banana skin should the Liverpool squad turn up and think the game is won without a ball being kicked. And that is, to me, what sort of happened. It was, like I say, it was similar to what I felt Manchester United did last week. I thought they turned up and they expected to turn over Liverpool very easily, even though it was away from home. And obviously with Liverpool's stuttering season, they thought that they were going to go on and win that game fairly comfortably. It didn't happen. And like I say, I think Liverpool players suffered with that yesterday. And even Liverpool fans on Twitter that I saw were expecting 4, 5, 6s to 0 results in this game. And obviously that is not how it turned out in the slightest. We got humbled. got on board, and obviously after a week of banter and a week of being on top of the world, seemingly from beating our fierce rivals Manchester United by 7-0, we got everything that we deserved yesterday. Where do we go from here? Well, once again, the gap to top 4 opens up yet again, despite the fact that we've got a game in hand. It was a real opportunity to put some pressure on the likes of Tottenham, and I guess even to a maybe lesser extent Manchester United, I guess. But again, it's another opportunity missed. We go on again. We've got Real Madrid midweek. Should be a game in which, you know, the strange thing about Liverpool's season is we could actually go on and win that game against Real Madrid. Maybe not to qualify and win, but we could win on the night. That's just how our season's gone. Don't expect us to qualify at all, but we definitely could go to the Bernabeu and pick up a bit of a smash and grab win, I guess you'd say, or anything. But there is a bit of a gap now for Liverpool. There is a bit of a gap in terms of Premier League fixtures between now and the beginning of next month as to when we next play in the league again. Obviously next week the FA Cup's happening and Liverpool's game has been postponed because obviously our opponents would be in that FA Cup. I believe it's Fulham. So yeah, there's a few weeks now. There's a few weeks in which to get players back up to speed. Jota fully back up to speed. Luis Diaz obviously coming back after the international break. Maybe Arthur Melo as well could make an appearance. You know, 3/4 of the way through the season, but better late than never. And our top 4 charge, like I say, I still hold jury out on it. Like I made a video obviously earlier on this week that when we beat Manchester United, that our top 4 charge might still be on, and I may have been a bit hasty in calling it off completely, but I said I would hold out on it to see if it's realistic or not. And, you know, maybe this was, again, a one-off result in a game of 5. You know, unbeaten in 5, lose the 6th, go on another run. Maybe that's going to be the case when we come back. But, again, it's just so frustrating that you go into a game where you're heavy favourites, expecting to win, and it's against the team that has the worst defensive record in the Premier League, like I keep mentioning. But you lose. And you don't deserve to be top 4 contenders if you lose these kinds of games regularly. We did it earlier in the season when we lost to Nottingham Forest. We've done it to other teams as well. We dropped points to the likes of Wolves and other teams like that. You know, Brentford, obviously, Brighton, Fulham earlier on in the season, Crystal Palace. We dropped points to in both games this season. So again, just the form of this club is just extremely frustrating, especially when we know that this team might not be completely dead in the water, but at the same time, it does need a bit of an overhaul. And that was what baffled me across this week as well. Whilst I was enjoying, obviously relishing in a rare, bright moment of Liverpool's season this campaign, I saw a tweet saying we don't need a complete overhaul. We don't need to go into the summer changing what we thought was going to be our transfer strategy of a complete overhaul, particularly in the defensive and midfield options and areas. And I was like, one result can't change that. One result cannot change what needs to happen at this club, which is we need to get rid of some of the players in our defensive area. We need to get some of the players in our midfield area that have gone stale and have gone past their use by date, so to speak, and move on. Saw people tweeting that we don't need to do that this summer because of what happened against United. United were poor on that day. We took advantage. That's not an excuse on United's part. That's not a reason why we won. We won because we deserved to win and we were excellent on the day. That being said, one result doesn't change it. Do you think Everton were thinking the same way about their players when they beat Arsenal under Sean Dyche? No, they know that they need better players. They know that they need stronger players. And obviously, people that have gone through rebuilds in the past have done that as well. Chelsea fans have been crying out for that all season. And there might have been times where they won a game or won a big game and were calling for the same thing. Liverpool need a rebuild in the summer in the defensive and midfield options in particular. Striking options seem okay, assuming that obviously we can keep them fit and healthy. Firmino leaving might cause a bit of concern there as to, do we get a replacement or do we trust a youngster from our academy? That could be interesting to watch going forward. But getting back to the point at hand of this season, look, I still say it again, top four, the jury's still out on that one. The jury's going to still be interesting to see if we can actually carry that on. It's not completely dead in the water. Let's face it, Tottenham slip up at the best of times. When the pressure is seemingly off them, that's when Tottenham slip up most. And obviously there's some internal problems there. They beat Nottingham Forest obviously yesterday, which added rubbed salt into the wounds a little bit for us. But at the end of the day, it is Tottenham still. Newcastle, Fulham, Brighton, Brentford, and even Chelsea, seemingly a little bit resurrected from past couple of results, are all seemingly in the hunt as well. So it could be in a very interesting run into the end of the season from when we return at the beginning of next month to obviously the final day of the season. We just have to wait and see how it goes. But yes, yesterday, extremely frustrating, but congratulations and well done to Bournemouth. Fully deserved. Played very well throughout the course of the 90 minutes. But Liverpool, Jesus Christ, a stuttering season very much continues. Those are just the thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, of this guy. I want to know what you guys think. What do you make of yesterday's performance by Liverpool and Liverpool's performance of the season as a whole? What do you make of Bournemouth yesterday? What do you make of the top four race going forward? Who will get into that top four race? Arsenal, Manchester City are seemingly certain. Manchester United, barring some major catastrophe, are seemingly certain as well. Who gets that fourth spot? Will it be Tottenham? Will Liverpool get it right towards the end of the campaign? Or will someone else below them manage to take advantage of those two teams slipping up? I'd love to know your thoughts, your comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, down below in the comment section, because I'm sure it'll make for interesting reading. Otherwise, hit that like button on the way out if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you're new, want to see more content like this. Both things always and forever be greatly appreciated. And as always, thank you all so much for watching and listening. I've been Fletch. This has been another Fletch Talks video, and I'll see you all again soon in another video.